Glad to meet you all. With this new video, today we will learn the textual comprehension, grammar and vocabulary of the Unit 1 of the 10th Standard English textbook, SSC Board, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. On to Part A. Attitude is altitude. On to the comprehension part. Answer the following questions. The first question, I call it my chicken drumstick. Joke Nick. What does it refer to? How does it help him? It refers to the small foot on his left hip. It helps him balance and enables him to kick. On to the second question. What do you mean by the right girl or right boy to marry? The right boy or girl to marry means the right person who would not be attracted to the external appearance but would look at the inner being and live with his or her life partner till the last breath. Here it implies the partner whom Nick is in search of, a person, a girl who would live with him forever. On to the third question. His parents decided not to send him to a special school. Was Nick happy about his parents' decision? No, Nick was not happy about his parents' decision. Why? Because he was teased by the other students. What do you think about this decision? I think this decision was the best decision because it gave him independence and made him dare enough to face the real world. On to the fourth question. How did Nick's parents help him to become independent? Nick's mother invented a special plastic device that meant he could hold a pen and pencil. His father taught him to swim when he was just 18 months old and taught him how to type when he was just 6 years old. They joined him in the mainstream school to make him independent. On to the fifth question. Pick out the symptoms of Nick's depression. Do you think his depression was normal or something unique about him? Give reasons for your opinion. The lines, Nick was deeply depressed when he was 8 years old and told his mother that he wanted to kill himself. And at age 10, he tried to drown himself in the bathtub. Tell us about the symptoms of Nick's depression. Do you think this depression was normal? Yes, his depression was normal. What's the reason? Because it is very tough to live a life without the limbs. On to the sixth question. Which incident in this text is funny? What makes it funny? Once when Nick was at the traffic lights, a girl was looking at him interestingly. Nick did a 360-degree spin in the car seat to freak her out. She sped off immediately. This incident is the funny one in the text. What makes it funny? The girl getting shocked and fleeing away makes it funny. What made Nick choose Bethany Hamilton as his teacher to learn surfing? As Bethany Hamilton had also lost her arm, Nick felt that she could understand the feelings and limitations of a physically challenged person like him and teach him accordingly. Thus, he chose Bethany as his teacher to learn surfing. On to the eighth question. Which aspect of Nick's physical condition helps him to do a 360-degree spin? As Nick has a low center of gravity, he can do the 360-degree spin. On to the ninth question. What are the distinct features of this text? List them. Distinct means significant features. The distinct features of this text are This text is a biography of an extremely courageous person who shares real life experiences to strengthen everyone. It creates a sense of optimism and helps us come with new problem solving skills. It creates an idea never to compare ourselves with others. On to the 10th question. What do you learn from the life of Nick Vujicic? We learn from the life of Nick that the challenges in our lives are not there to run us over, they are there to strengthen our convictions. We even learn to be thankful for what we have and not to get angry about what we don't have. On to the 11th question. Do you think disability is an obstacle to achieve success in life? No, I don't think disability is an obstacle to achieve success in life. Substantiate your argument citing evidences from Nick Vujicic's biographical account, Attitude is Altitude. Though Nick is disabled, he wants to use his life to inspire others. He gives motivational speeches and builds hope in others. He swims and surfs and plays golf and football and is world famous because of his 360-degree spin on the surfboard. Thus, we can say that disability is not an obstacle to success. On to the vocabulary part. Look at the list of adjectives given below in the box. Which of them describe Nick Vujicic? Tick them. So the attributes of Nick's characters are positive, he is positive minded, optimistic, generous, confident, smart, sociable, courageous, reliable, independent, obedient, trusting, valiant, level-headed and creative. Positive means thinking always positive, good will happen. Optimistic means positive things will happen. Generous means very liberal in giving. Confident, that means belief in oneself. Smart, very quick-witted, very smart, very quick in understanding things, learning things. Sociable, friendly-natured. Courageous, brave. Reliable, we can trust him. Independent, can do things for himself. Obedient, obeying the elders, listening to the words of the elders. Trusting, one who trusts someone. Here we see Nick trusts God. Valiant, again brave, courageous, bold. Level-headed, level-headed means neither underconfident nor overconfident. A very level-headed means very practical outlook and thinking things as they are. Creative way of doing the things. Pick out from the text examples that support these attributes. So first one is positive. In spite of his disability, he has become great. Confident. He did the 360-degree flip on the surfboard. Sociable. He is a motivational speaker. Courageous. He faced the challenges of school life boldly. Creative. He tucks the club under his chin and plays golf. Obedient. He obeyed his parents when they asked him to join the mainstream school. Smart. He plays football, golf, swims, surfs, he types. He is also a graduate in financial planning and real estate. So really smart enough. Generous. He gives the courage he got from the article to others. Independent. He can do his daily chores by himself. Reliable. He is an evangelist, so we can rely on his words. Rely means depend. Count on. On to the next bit. Take the word or expression which is nearest in meaning to the word underlined in each sentence given below. Water sports aren't Nick's only thing. He also plays golf with a club tucked under his chin. Tucked means kept. His distraught mother couldn't bring herself to hold him until he was 4 months old. Distraught here means anxious. Despite the risk of bullying, his parents insisted on Nick's attending mainstream school. What does bullying mean? Humiliation. That means bullying means teasing. Here it means humiliation. Nick, who was teased and bullied, had an electric wheelchair for mobility and a team of carers to help him. Mobility means movement, moving from one place to another. Nick managed to pull through to become an international symbol of triumph over adversity. What does adversity mean here? Difficulties. The challenges in our lives are there to strengthen our convictions. What does conviction mean? Beliefs. Read the following descriptions about persons and fill in the blanks with the words that match with these descriptions. Boorish. Boorish means very unpleasant in nature. Extrovert means very friendly. Meticulous. Meticulous means worried about each and every detail, very minute. Suave. Suave means very confident, elegant. They appear to be like that, but sometimes they are not as good as they appear to be. Placid. Placid means cannot be disturbed or cannot be excited. They are in a very stable condition. Right? On to the next word, obnoxious. Obnoxious means very unpleasant in nature. Compassionate, very kind-hearted. Timid. Timid means very covered, fearful. Introvert. Introvert means lost in one's own thoughts. Malicious. Malicious means having a bad idea of harming others. On to the first sentence. Ashok is a very unpleasant and rude fellow. I don't talk to him. He is boorish. Srinu is very confident, elegant and polite, but sometimes it does not appear to be sincere. He is suave. Sujata is quiet and calm. She doesn't like to spend time with others. She is interested in her own thoughts and feelings. She is an introvert. Introvert means within oneself. They are not so much friendly. They are very reserved. They are much into their own thoughts. Very, very much introspective. Ramesh is very sensitive. He always shows sympathy for people who are suffering. He is compassionate, kind-hearted, merciful. My neighbor is such a person that he has a feeling of hatred for others. He desires to hurt others' feelings. He is malicious, that is trying to harm others. My father pays careful attention to every detail. He makes thorough planning for everything in our home. He is meticulous. Meticulous, very checking every minute thing. Very particular about them. Prem is an extremely unpleasant person. He always tries to offend people. He is obnoxious. On to the 8th sentence. My mother is very calm and peaceful. She doesn't get excited or irritated easily. She is placid, very stable. Rahul is very lively and confident. He enjoys being with his friends. He is an extrovert. Sridhar is always afraid of speaking in the class. He is timid. Timid means afraid, frightened. On to the grammar part, defining and non-defining relative clause. So let me tell it in simple terms. Defining means it is an essential part of the sentence without the defining relative clause, the sentence is meaningless, right? Whereas non-defining relative clause is an extra information, and even without that clause, the sentence remains complete. So that is a non-defining relative clause. On to the example here. The woman who taught him surfing had been bitten by a shark. This is a defining relative clause. Nick, who was teased and bullied, had an electric wheelchair for mobility. Who was teased and bullied is a non-defining relative clause. It is an extra information. Even if you remove that part, the sentence is complete. Nick had an electric wheelchair for mobility is complete by all means. And remember, generally, the non-defining relative clause is separated by a comma or a hyphen. On to the exercise. Read the text again and identify some more defining and non-defining relative clauses. Nick has a small foot on his left hip which helps him to balance and enables him to kick. Here, which helps him to balance and enables him to kick is the defining relative clause. On to the second sentence. I call it my chicken drumstick joke. Nick, who was born in Melbourne, Australia, but now lives in Los Angeles. Here, who was born in Melbourne is a non-defining relative clause. His parents decided not to send him to a special school. A decision he said was hard for him. A decision he said was hard for him is a non-defining relative clause. His disability came without any medical explanation. A rare occurrence called phocomelia. Here, a rare occurrence called phocomelia is a non-defining relative clause. When I was 13, I read a newspaper article about a disabled man who had managed to achieve great things. Here, who had managed to achieve great things is the defining relative clause. Complete the sentences with defining or non-defining relative clauses. This is the peaceful place where I used to study when I was a child. The Mahaprasthanam is a popular book which is very interesting. Now this is a non-defining relative clause. Suresh, who is a school pupil leader, has left the school just now. This is also a non-defining relative clause. Is this the street where your friend stays? This is a defining relative clause. The express which goes to Mumbai has just arrived. This is again a defining relative clause. On to part B. Every success story is also a story of great failures. The first question. To Lincoln, defeat was a detour and not a dead end. Justify this statement from the life of Lincoln. Lincoln failed in business twice, suffered a nervous breakdown, lost his wife, failed in the legislative race 5 times, yet he contested the 6th time and won to become the president of US at age 52. This shows that failure is just a detour and not a dead end. So though Abraham Lincoln found so much of failure in his life, he never gave up. He kept on his struggle and ultimately he succeeded. On to the second question. What did Socrates suggest as a secret to success? Do you agree or disagree with him? Give reasons for your reason. Socrates suggested that the secret to success is a burning desire to succeed. Yes, I agree with him. If and only if we have a strong passion towards winning, we would work hard to reach our goal and ultimately emerge successful. On to the third question. Complete the following table about the failures and successes of the great personalities mentioned in the lesson you have just read The first one is done for you. Abraham Lincoln failed in business, defeated in legislative elections, had nervous breakdown, lost congressional race and senatorial race. Final success, elected President of United States of America. The second one, invented the triodes tube. Who is that? Lee D. Forrest. And the failure or the challenge that he faced? Charged by the district attorney for using fraudulent means. Wright brothers. What are the failures or the rejections they faced? New York Times editorial questioned their wisdom, how a machine heavier than air can fly. And what is the ultimate success? Wright brothers took their famous flight in Kitty Hawk only just a week later. The next, knocked many doors before he got the first order. Who is this? Yes, it's Colonel Sanders. And what was his ultimate success? Founded the KFC chain restaurants. Walt Disney, what was the rejection he faced? Faced many rejections from newspaper editors. And what was the final success? Created the fictional character Mickey Mouse and revolutionized the animation world. Grew up to be a great scientist. Who is this? Yes, it is Thomas Alva Edison. And the rejection he faced? His teacher termed him unfit for schooling. Established cars company. Who is that? It is Henry Ford. And what was the failure? Forgot to put the reverse gear in the first car he made. Fired by Henry Ford's second. Who was that? Yes, it's Lee Iacocca. And what was the final success? Engineered Ford Mustang and Ford Pinto cars. On to the last one. Gave some of the best music to the world. Who is this? Yes, it's Ludwig van Beethoven. And the rejection or the failures he faced was told that he had no talent for music. On to part C. I will do it. Answer the following questions briefly. The first one. What was the ultimate aim of a bright student in this lesson? Why? The ultimate aim of a bright student in this lesson is to get a seat in IIT because it is the most prestigious institution of engineering in India. On to the second question. His heart sank in sorrow. Whose heart sank in sorrow? Why? Narayana Murthy's heart sank in sorrow because he could not study in IIT despite getting a seat in IIT. On to the third question. How did Murthy react when his father expressed his helplessness to send him to IIT? He did not reply. He was not angry with anybody. He did not share his unhappiness or helplessness with anybody. On to the fourth question. The author calls Murthy an introvert. What action of Murthy substantiates this claim of the author about Murthy? He never shared his unhappiness or helplessness with anybody. This shows that he was introvert by nature. On to the fifth question. What, according to Narayana Murthy, can change the life of a person? According to Narayana Murthy, hard work can change the life of a person. On to the sixth question. How does the motto, powered by intellect and driven by values, describe Murthy's life? He worked very hard focusing on one thing, never bothering about his personal life or comforts. He shared his wealth with others and never used the help of any caste, community or political connections to go up in life. Today, he is a pioneer of India's software industry and has become an icon of simplicity, uncompromising quality and fitness apart from being a philanthropist. Thus, his life is described by the motto, powered by intellect and driven by values. On to the 7th question. What message does the writer have for educated youth who reach at high positions in the society by virtue of their education? Justify your viewpoint with supporting evidence from the text. I will do it. The writer's message to the educated youth is that he who has a strong determination and persistent hard work can certainly attain success without resorting to illegal or unethical means. The line, "A son of a teacher showed other Indians that it is possible to earn wealth legally and ethically," supports this. Given below are some sentences from the lesson. What do they tell us about Narayana Murthy's qualities? Use the adjectives given in the box to describe Murthy's character. His seniors used to ask him to solve their difficulties in science. What does it tell? He is bright, brilliant, intelligent. He respects the elders' opinion. Means he is obedient. While others struggle to solve the problems in the question papers, he would smile shyly and solve them in no time. It shows that he is simple, modest, down to earth. His principle was never to hurt anyone. This is philosophical, matured mentality. He did not reply. He never shared his unhappiness or helplessness with anybody. Introverted, reserved. He went to station to say goodbye and good luck to them for their future life. Encouraging, well-wishing. He never used the help of any caste, community or political connections to go up in life. Hard-working. He built a team of people who were equally good. This is uncompromising. On to the one-word substitutes. One-word substitutes are nothing but a single word which substitutes a big word. Instead of using this long sentence, we are going to use a single word. Take the most appropriate one-word substitute for the following. One-word substitute helps us to give the precise meaning, exact emotion over there. On to the exercise. A person or thing that cannot be corrected. Incorrigible. A person of good understanding, knowledge and reasoning power. Intellectual. A person who knows many languages. Polyglot. One who possesses many talents. Versatile. Words inscribed on a tomb. Epitaph. With this we conclude with the Comprehension Grammar and Vocabulary of Unit 1. Thank you for watching and do subscribe. Forget not to click the like button and please leave a comment in the comment section. Thank you once again.